Do you understand how Venus and Mars operate in your birth chart? Do you understand what it tells you in terms of what you find attractive in other people, what you find erotic and pleasurable, and how you go about getting it? That's what our video is about today, so stay tuned. Hi everyone, this is Mina again, back with another awesome astrology video for you today, where we're going to talk about Venus and Mars in your birth chart, and we're even going to talk a little bit about synastry too, and also going to talk about how to get around some of the problems when your Mars and Venus are disconnected in your own birth chart and in relationship astrology. So it's going to be super cool and interesting today. Please like the video, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I want to let you know, after my last video, a lot of you wanted to know if I was okay. You're so sweet. I am doing just fine. Thank you for asking. So let's get into today's topic. The reason why I love talking about Venus and Mars, especially as a practicing and professional astrologer, is because there's a lot of disagreements on how Venus and Mars operate within the world of professional astrology. A lot of astrologers simply don't agree with how we assign Venus and Mars, and there's many reasons for that. And I'm here today to discuss my own opinion as an astrologer who's read many birth charts, and I've learned from many of the greats. So yeah, it's fascinating for me because, you guys, I have a detrimental Venus, meaning a bad Venus. I have a Venus in Aries. Venus is not happy in the sign of Aries at all. Neither is it in Scorpio or Virgo. It's just not happy. It's not a natural flow of how things work. So because of this, I've been very motivated to understand how Venus is. Because it's not natural to me to understand what Venus means. So that's why I've studied it so deep. Even Mars the same way, because we are not clear as a community in astrology which one defines pleasure. Is it Venus or is it Mars? Because it gets flip-flopped a lot, and I've even done that myself. But now, after reading a lot of charts and studying more, I have a way firmer opinion. So we're going to start talking about Venus as the planet of love. So what does that mean in your birth chart? This Venus is the real thing, you guys. It is where you find the most pleasure. It is your slice of life, what you find erotic. And also, it's what's attractive about you. It's your little shiny quality. How do you shine in terms of other people? What do they notice about you? How do they find you attractive? This is how important Venus is, not only on the individual level, because you want to know what your strengths are, you guys, before getting into a relationship, but also it helps in understanding your partner. You want to know what they like. You want to know what turns them on. You want to know what is shiny about them, so you know where to give them compliments. So this is why Venus is so important, because Venus is exactly that, the planet of love, baby. It's about what we find pleasurable, what we find erotic. I'm going to say it again, because a lot of astrologers say Mars is this. I've even been one of them before. I'm sorry. Like, Mars is not what turns us on. Now, there is one maybe exception. I'll talk about it later. But yeah, Mars is not that at all. It is Venus. So if you want to know what you like, because honestly, in today's modern society, when we have so many options, you guys, in terms of food, all the pleasurable things, all the Taurus things, it's so hard to choose what we like. And especially in dating, the world's more connected with apps like Instagram, dating apps. So there's just so many options. This is why a lot of people in modern society are so disconnected with what they actually like. So if you're one of those people, study your Venus, study the aspects it makes, and look at the house placement. This will tell you so many good little data points for you to learn about yourself more, and also about your person, your special person. So yeah, that's what's cool about Venus, you guys. now let's get into Mars. And I'm in Aries rising, so I love Mars. I'm very connected with Mars. And I want to give the credit, I'm doing my citations. I want to give the credit to Jewel Mayberry. Her channel on YouTube is called Truth and Aspect Astrology. If you haven't watched her videos, please watch them. Subscribe to her channel. She's one of my favorite OG YouTube astrologers. She's so smart. She recently did a little short video of Mars on her channel, and something she said connected with me so deep. She said that Mars is how we hunt. And I was like, yes, 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 a million yeses. That is how we hunt, you guys. And I just felt this in my detrimental Venus bones. I was like, yes, Mars is how we hunt. And to put it another way, it's how we go about getting those Venus things that we love, that we find attractive. It's how we move towards anything. And yes, how we hunt. So if you like someone, how are you going to go about doing it? And what's so interesting in the individual's chart is that your Venus and Mars can be so different. And this can make the individual feel very disconnected. But don't feel disconnected, you guys. You're just complex. And complex people are always more interesting. So imagine your Venus is in Aries and your Mars is in Taurus. So Venus in Aries is all about, it's very enthusiastic about what it likes. It wants instant gratification, and it wants things to happen quickly. But what happens if maybe you're so connected with the things you like, you're very passionate, Venus in Aries, you know what you like right here, right now, but your Mars, your hunting energy is in Taurus. Taurus is so slow and steady and safe. Slow and steady wins the race. That is Taurus Mars all day, every day. And it's an earth sign, way more grounded and practical than a Venus in Aries, which is all fire. So even if you have desires of a Venus in Aries, if your Mars is in Taurus, you're going to be very cautious in terms of going about hunting and possessing these things that you like. And this can be a very huge internal tension within the individual who has like a disconnected Mars and Venus. Now, could you say, well, Mina, Taurus is ruled by Venus, so it probably would be quicker if it's ruled by that Aries Venus because of the Mars influence. Yeah, but Taurus is such a slow energy, even with that connection. You're going to go way slower getting the things you want with this, sign conundrum with the Aries Venus versus a Taurus Mars. Now, house placements do matter, aspects matter. I'm just giving a general example. Now let's look at a really good example. I always envy people with Venus conjunct Mars. This is a very desire-driven individual. The same things they love, they lust for, the Venus things, is the same energy that they hunt with, the Mars. So how interesting is that? So these people are very driven to hunt the things that they're pleasured by. Where they struggle is doing the things that they don't feel Venus-y about. The things that they don't find pleasure. They might have a hard time building momentum. And, life is filled with doing things that we don't want to do. But these people struggle with that. But they're also just immensely cohesive. They're on the same page within themselves. So with the things that they do want, they go after it quite rigorously. I even have read a few astrology books where they say Venus conjunct Mars gives it an androgynous feel. I don't know. You tell me what you think about that in the comments. I'd be interested to know. But yeah, you guys. And I've also heard that maybe Venus itself, because Venus is just how we attract things. It's what is great about us, but it's not a super active energy. So I've also read that maybe Venus can slow Mars down. But I don't believe that fully. I think these people are very driven, but I do think it depends on the sign. I guess if you have two slow moving signs, like if you have a Venus in Libra and a Venus and Mars together, I can see how that can move maybe a little slower. But again, you guys tell me in the comments. This is just food for thought about Venus. We also have our interesting people who are like Venus square Mars people. So whenever you have a square, that is a lot of energy, a lot of tension, and a disconnect above all else. So what you find pleasurable, Venus, is not the same energy used to hunt those things. So imagine if you have a very intense Venus in Scorpio, okay? You know what you want and you get tunnel vision on that thing. You're obsessed. You feel very strongly about it. But let's just say your Mars is in Aquarius, like really chill Aquarius. You hunt the things you love that you're obsessed with in a very friendly, friend zone, friendly way, almost detached, aloof, much slower, because Aquarius is an air sign ruled by Saturn. So even if you feel very strongly about someone or something, you could go about getting it in a very casual way. And that, again, is a big complexity. When you have Venus square Mars, you can send mixed signals to people that you're trying to get in a relationship with. And that's why it's important that I want to do this video to explain how this is so important to understand in your chart and in your partner's chart because of reasons like this. And the same kind of goes for Venus opposite Mars. Let's say that your Venus is in Libra. So you could like a lot of things. Maybe you're not even sure about what you like because you just like all the pretty things. But so you're kind of indecisive, right, about what you like. But you have a Mars in Aries that's just quick. Like you want to pick something really quick, almost like you're pressurizing yourself. So you could just send out a lot of confusing energy with an aspect like this to a partner. And even within yourself when it comes to even buying something you like. So very important to understand. Before I talk more about Venus and Mars, I want to mention my friend Ashley. She makes this awesome astrology tarot deck. And I mention this because it's all about teaching you about the planets, the signs, and the aspects. So if you're someone who wants to learn astrology more, but you're more of a visual learner, this could be a really great tool for you to learn astrology with. So I'm going to drop her Etsy shop in my description and a coupon for you to use at her shop. So please give her some love and support. She's a Cancer. She's awesome and really good teaching deck to learn astrology more. Also, let's talk about it. This is a part of the video about synastry. So why is it important to understand Venus and Mars in terms of synastry? Well, Venus is the things that we find erotic and the things that we love. So you need to be on the same page in your Venus nature with someone else. Now, do you have to go by textbook astrology? Not necessarily, because there's mitigating factors. There's house placement. So let's just say that you have a Venus in Sagittarius and your partner has an Earth Venus, but it's in the first house. That's a fiery quality. So there's some overlap. Or if you have a Venus in Capricorn, but your partner has a Venus in Aquarius, both of those signs are ruled by Saturn. So there's some non-traditional common ground. So not all hope is lost. And you can't forget house placement. I want to stress that again. So it's really good that we understand what our partner wants in a relationship, what they find pleasurable. And it's good that it's at least somewhat on the same page. And the Mars component, this is so pivotal because I've seen so many people with good Venus compatibility, but their Marses are so different. So they're moving towards each other at much different speeds. And this can cause a lot of confusion. Like, oh, do they like me? Do they not like me? That type of deal, which is why, guys, so important to get compatibility readings when you're not sure about a connection because of these reasons. But yeah, it can cause a lot of confusion. And of course, if things are on the same page, you like the same things and you're just going towards each other at a reasonable speed that you both agree with. But, again, if you're incompatible in this way, not all hope is lost. with greater understanding, like looking at the birth chart of your person and just seeing things through their perspective can give you something to work with. All right, you guys, I hope you love my video about Venus and Mars in the birth chart and in synastry in terms of compatibility, what we love, how we hunt things, all that interesting stuff. Please share your experience with understanding your Venus and Mars in my comments below. Don't worry, I will be coming out with a compatibility video. I think it's going to be Aries and Scorpio, so I hope you're excited. Thank you guys for all the support, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.